Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Dreyer from Hyper Networks, and it's getting to be that time of year again. We're almost to December, and everybody's really intent on planning their CES booths and rooms, their meeting schedules, their broadcasts, their streaming, and all the other really exciting things that go along with doing the largest trade show in the world, the Consumer Electronics Showcase here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're starting to get a lot of calls and a lot of questions, and so we thought we might answer a couple of the two most common that we get. The first is, how much bandwidth do we need? And the second is, why won't Wi-Fi work inside the hall? Sometimes that second question comes a little too late, so we're hoping to inform you about some of the things about that. So let's start off with the first one. How much bandwidth do I need to order at CES? Well, this is a difficult question to answer right off the start, and the reason is because it's kind of like, how much ice cream do you like to eat? So the factors that go into that would be, first, what types of data are you going to be using on your internet circuit? Is it just real basic data, real static emails, transferring some files to, between you and up to the internet to your cloud, or are pulling things down from the cloud, or downloading some movies for the flight home? Those type of things aren't mission critical, and they tend to be real easy data to transfer. But if you're like some of our streaming partners, we're carrying, of course, like TNT, CBS, CNET. We can do a lot of things with the movies. Those guys tend to send really large video files that require a lot of time on a slow circuit. So for that reason, you need to order a lot more bandwidth than you would think you would in order to meet your timelines and your deadlines that you have during that short collapsed window of that week during CES. The second thing is the number of users. So are you going to be trying to support just a few people inside of your booth, like salespeople or something along those lines? Or are you going to be trying to support the crowds that might come and visit you? Which goes along with providing wireless inside of your booth. Wireless, you tend to get a lot of degraded signal when you're trying to push wireless out inside of your booth. So again, more bandwidth the better in that respect. Lastly is the number of devices that are going to be contained on the circuit. So is it mostly handhelds and iPhones and iPads and Android devices? Or are you going to be doing AutoCAD drawings or streaming video or receiving 4K video from a remote server? Again, that would entail, the more intense those things are, the larger the bandwidth is that you need to order. And then finally, do you have anything special? So at CES, we get to see the latest and greatest. Sometimes software isn't optimized to send data in the most efficient way possible. Sometimes we get really unique things. A couple of years ago, we had 3D printers that were receiving giant files down to these devices, weren't smart enough to spool that data, so they had to receive that real time. As a result, big circuits were needed. I think there's a lot of pre-planning that can go into these things that'll help you optimize that. Absent that, at Hyper, we're gonna be there to respond for you and do whatever it is that you need. The second and most common question is, typically we start getting these calls after setup, is, how come my Wi-Fi isn't working anymore? It was working a few days ago and nothing's changed. The reality is, last year we had, inside of one of the main halls at Sands Expo alone, we had more than 3,800 networks being broadcast. And that was just in that one section inside that concrete and metal roofed building. That's just too much. Really what I would say is, as a metaphor, think of you and me talking right now, or you hearing me with nobody else in this room. Now imagine that I put 10 people that were also having a simultaneous call in this room. It'd be hard to discern what it is what I was saying. Now make that 3,800 people trying to doing the exact same thing. It would be virtually worthless, and that's what happens. So that Echo Dot, or that iPhone, or that application that works on that wireless antenna works great inside of your building, inside of your house, inside of your lab. But when you put that in that, with all those other devices all broadcasting on that wireless spectrum, it just runs out of space, and it makes it very difficult. For that reason, we would highly recommend that you hire a professional wireless engineering company. That's not us, but we can recommend 2 or 3 of them to you. CTS in town, or excuse me, ETS here in town is really good, and we've had good success seeing those guys come in, essentially isolate the spectrum, try to get the devices to talk in a noisy environment. And there are a few others too. That's just the ones kind of on the top of my head. All right, well, we hope you have a great show. We're obviously excited about serving you. We are the only company that carries network that connects every single facility during CES. We own our own fiber network and here in town, and we can get you from one network across the entire city at any of the venues, to any of the data centers, to any of the cloud providers. Don't hesitate to give us a call. We look forward to working with you. Thanks very much.